Think I have you in my ears now. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Oh, great. And you were in my ears.
Oh,
So
that's
that's better.
oh, so how are things?
Not too bad. Yeah, grand. It's a nice sunny day here. So the weather is picking up and things, which is lovely.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, we've
Oh,
had some nice weather here in Ohio. It's kind of going up and down a little bit into the 50s and 60s, but
wow. That's Fahrenheit, is it?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's been actually very lovely. Over the weekend it was beautiful. So if only we could get more weather like that, especially through the winter, that would be my ideal situation. But
It
it's
must be lovely there, then.
yeah, even though it does get super hot, especially with the humidity during the summer.
Yeah,
Uh, so tell us a little bit about yourself.
that's always a difficult question. I'm a singer-songwriter. Started as a singer-songwriter, but I compose as well. And I do audio reports for Culture File. Total animal lover. I perform gigs. I'm very simple, to be honest.
How long have you been performing?
I've been doing it since I was a child. So since knee high to a grasshopper.
Oh, wow.
I was very fortunate to live in a small village with a very powerful community. And within that community, we had every kind of opportunity to perform, to be musical. So we had variety groups and youth clubs and Scorn and Nogue, which is like traditional Irish kind of ballad groups and things like that. We had dance classes. We had just every kind of creative outlet. it
Oh,
was all it was all here in the community for us. So I've been performing since then, and through those groups, we did exchanges, cultural exchanges with Denmark, a gymnastic club in Denmark, where we would go over there and they would come over here to perform. And as part of that cultural exchange, I performed twice for two Irish presidents in Ars Neutron and once in Copenhagen for the Queen of Denmark. So I was only a teenager when I did that.
oh, wow.
And I guess all of that sort of experience paved the way for kind of a colourful musical career journey that I'm still on. It goes up and down all the time. um, but it's good. I can't not be a musical person, so I just have to persevere and do it. it's it's how I'm built.
Oh, wow. So it's basically kind of ingrained in you, all the music and everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember even my mother used to say, kind of like the ABBA song, that I came out of the womb doing it. It was just an instinctual thing. I was always just trying to sing or bang things or make rhythms or do something to. It's just part of who I am.
Oh. So do you just play piano or other instruments?
I play other instruments, so I play the piano and I play the guitar.
Okay.
I have like little instruments called one. It's called an autoharp, which is very suited to kind of folk songs, and it's very easy to play. It's automatic, so all the buttons on it are labeled A, B, C, D, B flat, whatever, and you just press the button, and hey presto, you have a chord.
Oh,
And you can pluck it and play it strum it with your fingers, or even use a pick with it. But it's got this lovely um, ring to it, sort of similar to a harp, just that lovely lightness. And it's lovely for folk songs. So sometimes I use that. And I play the piano. I use the piano a lot for MIDI. This piano that I have here is a digital piano. It's a Roland RD 600, and it's quite old as digital pianos go. I don't know if you can see it there.
oh yeah. Oh, that's beautiful.
So I've been using this piano as a MIDI keyboard, and that's how I create my compositions online, like for string quartets and things like that. But this piano was sort of given to me by a gentleman who used to tour a lot with as a session musician. So this piano had toured the world with him, and he toured with Van Morrison and so yeah, this piano I think is probably on some very popular albums. But yeah, no, I play the piano, I play the guitar. I don't consider myself to be an exceptional musician. It's more about writing for me, composition, songwriting, that kind of thing. And all the instruments that I put my hand to are, you know, they're purely to kind of support that creativity, the composition and the writing. So I don't really consider myself to be a musician, but I can play, you know, I can play them.
So did you have any influences growing up since you grew up in such, you know, a culture that was so musical?
Culturally, you know, obviously all that influence that I had as a young child, teenager, you know, it sort of, so even if you're not conscious of it, it's rubbing off on you all the time, and everything around you, nature, you know, everything you experience is influencing us all the time. That's what I believe, especially in terms of composition, and things like that. But there are musical artists who I really admire and listen to a lot. When I was growing up, I listened to a lot of folk singers from the 60s and 70s. Bob Dylan, Joni Mitchell, you know, all the greats. Just wonderful lyricists and storytellers, and I used to listen to them a lot. I used to have an obsession for Tina Turner, but the Icon Tina Turner years. And I got to see her live. My brother bought me two tickets for Christmas one year. I think I must have been about 14, and I brought my best friend with me at the time, and the two of us got there really early, and we got right up to the front of the stage. So, and she had a kind of a runway that came out. We were right beside that, and I mean, she was about a meter from me at times, standing there. She must have been in her 60s, and she was as fit as a fiddle. Like you could see the muscles in her legs, and because she was wearing half nothing like she used to wear when she was, you know, in her prime. She had little silver dress on that, you know, you could see up it. But she was stunning. She ran from one end of the stage to the other for 2 hours. She took one small break in between, and her backing singer came forward because she needed to breathe. But she did all of the high energy dances, you know, all of that, like River Deep, Mountain High, whatever kind of dancing you call that. She did that. That was an amazing experience. And yeah, I had a little tape player that was my, I'm showing my age, but yeah, a little tape, what do you call them, tape recorder thingy.
Yeah.
And I had her tape in it, Icon Tina in it constantly. Before that, it was always sort of movies, you know, Judy Garland, Fred Astaire, all those kind of old MGM movies. And I used to watch them religiously as well. And I just loved the songs and the music in them. So there's influence from lots of different genres coming at me. And I'm very eclectic in what I like musically. And I think that shows in what I do, because I do lots of different styles of music. I'm working on an album, a classical album of string quartets called Butterfly Wars.
Okay.
So I'm getting through that.
I like
And
the
that's
title.
yeah, actually, during COVID, I did a certificate in music production for video games.
Oh,
And as part of that, we had to kind of design a game, not intensely, but you know, to write the story for it and things. It's like interactive storytelling. And so that's where I came up with the idea for Butterfly Wars, because it's actually designed as a kind of a gothic video game that I've written the music for.
Oh,
So with that album will be, each track has a sort of a game level and a story. And each track is actually designed as video game music, in that it's loopable, um, that there's stems within each track that can be removed and used as like themes, like leitmotif, game over themes and things like that. You probably wouldn't notice it while you're listening to it, but it's just it's the way that I formatted the and that I am formatting the pieces. So I'm excited, really excited about that project.
do you know when it might be out? Are you hoping to get it out this year?
Yes, yeah, I will know more by the end of summer about a commission for it.
Oh,
And fingers crossed, if it's looking very strong, is what I've been told. And if that does, cross over the line, then I'm sure these will be recorded in an art centre called the Glens in Manor Hamilton in the autumn.
okay.
And if that doesn't work out, I'll figure a way to record them myself
Uh,
anyway. So yeah, I'm very much work in progress at the moment.
so have you, do you do more solo work, or do you enjoy working with a band?
I have worked with bands in the past. Recently, I did a gig with Terry Woods, and I've worked with Terry a lot down through the years. And I still collaborate with him on my songs and things. And with Terry and those recordings, there were a band on those recordings. Drums. Terry plays a lot of instruments. So he plays about 10 different stringed instruments. So he contributed a lot to the recordings that way. So I mean, we made a lot of noise with about 3 or 4 of us in a recording setting. But Terry and I have played together as a duo now twice, and we might play more throughout the next while. It was a nice gig we did in Glore. It happened on the 15th of April, just gone, and there was a nice little crowd. It was in a small kind of a theatre space, a studio space, and intimate little gig, and sang my songs with a few different covers, and it was very folky, and yeah, it was lovely. It was lovely to do that. So I do collaborate with other people a lot. But when I'm writing, I suppose, I'm good alone. I think I prefer to write alone, not unless I'm being brought in on somebody else's project. You know, if I was asked to be a ghostwriter, or to collaborate on a movie score or a game score or something like that, I totally can do that. But say in terms of my own string quartets, for example, I'm happy in my little cave writing those on my own.
Yeah.
But when they're done, I'm not opposed to influence. I'm not opposed to somebody else coming in and saying, well, let's arrange this a little bit different, or I'm not opposed to collaborating at that stage.
Okay.
you know so
So forgive me, during COVID, was it difficult?
yeah, I used to do a lot of gigs on cruise ships, so that went. So that's kind of coming back now. And I used to do a guitar vocal gig, but I won't be going back to that. I will be going back to a gig called Guest Entertainer, and it's a theatre show, and the contracts are much shorter. So instead of being gone away for 4 months or so, I'll be just gone for a week here and there, and it's more manageable. And it frees up a lot of space for me in terms of getting my own music off of the ground. I found being away on the cruise ships a lot, doing like 4 months stint of performing every day on a cruise ship was it was a lovely experience in that I saw the world. and I traveled so much, and I met so many brilliant musicians and people. But it really took from my own work, because it was tiring.
Oh,
When I finished it, it was hard to move on to my own projects because I was exhausted. So you kind of have to choose one or the other, and that was a lesson that I learned. So this new gig of not being gone for so long and not overdoing it or overextending myself will hopefully free up that space for everything I want to do. But yeah, during the COVID that went, I was lucky that I could do the course in the video production for music production for video games. That was so enjoyable, and it happened just like we're here on Zoom. It was all done over Zoom because we couldn't go into the college.
yeah.
So there was about 13 of us in the class, I think, and we were all sort of on the same level, music wise, and same place in our careers and things like that, where we've had a few opportunities and we're going up and down, and we're we're hungry for things, and we were all the same, and it was lovely to have that shared experience as well. And I now collaborate with the people on my course as well, especially a pianist and composer called Sean Rooney. And Sean is a ghostwriter. He does ghostwriting for a band. Are they Canadian? No, they're from Las Vegas. They're called Falling in Reverse. So they're kind of a
Okay.
pop. They're very popular, and they're kind of like metal pop. That's a different kind of fuse genres, but in heavier. Like they're signed to Epitaph, and so Sean does ghostwriting with them, and so yeah, I'll be working with Sean a bit, and others as well. So that's kind of what got me through COVID. And I do reports like sound stories for Culture File on Lyric FM. So RTE Lyric FM would be our flagship classical music station in Ireland, and I guess I'm fortunate to make sound stories for Culture File that airs every day of the week on the station at drive time. So that was fun, and it kept me going as well. So I kept going, really.
That's because
Yeah.
I heard, especially for a lot of musicians and everything was rather difficult, especially during that time, not being
Yeah.
able to get out and perform.
Yeah, no, sure, nobody could. The venues were shut down, and there was nothing there. There was nowhere to go to perform. I think everything went online. Most musicians, no matter what, they were in their living rooms or in their back gardens or whatever space I even did a song from a toilet. Which was strange, but I saw other people were doing it, so so it didn't feel so bad. The acoustics are much nicer in a bathroom.
For that's creativity.
Yeah. So that happened, and sure, we were all doing that. What was lovely to see was just that need to perform from most musicians. It wasn't okay for us to stop,
Yeah.
we found another way. We went online, and the online stream, I suppose, kept us going as well. I have a lovely coffee here.
Yeah.
How about you? How was COVID there where you were?
It was basically the same. Everything was pretty much shut down and everything. Normally things were open like 24 hours and you could, get out and go, even if it's 3 a.m.
Yeah.
But yeah, everything pretty much got shut down. The schools and everything, just like yours, everything pretty much online.
Yeah.
And everything for quite some time. We are pretty much getting back to, normal now, or what is considered normal.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, it's nice. It's nice to be able to, get back out and enjoy things. But even though, I mean, I think we learned a lot, especially being able to do things online and everything. And I know
Yeah,
a lot of performers, you know, are still doing, you
the
know,
online thing. Yeah,
online
yeah.
and everything.
It's actually very, it's a great thing because you expand your audience, you know. When
Mm,
you go online, you're performing to the world,
yeah.
you know. So I think it's a good thing to keep going this live stream, you know, as part of what we do.
Yeah, I know there are a few, and they'll charge like tickets just if you were going to a concert and everything.
Yeah, I saw that I think Facebook have even set up something like that. Now I haven't used it, so and I haven't attended one. But I saw it come up on my feed at some point that they're doing this, that you can have ticketed events, set up a ticketed event on Facebook for people to attend.
Yeah, that's kind of neat, you know, and especially, you know, you can reach a wider audience, but
Yeah,
at the same time, it has to be, you know, nice to be able to get back out there and have that personal contact with the audience as well.
yeah. There's something about that. Um, you know, there's something about the energy that that sort of feeds your performance. Maybe those are the wrong words to use, but there's certainly a difference. You know, when you're sitting in a room playing to a camera, you don't really know how people are feeling about that. And there's also when you're in a room with people and you're performing, they're in it with you, and the energy in the room sort of fuels the energy of the performance. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm making sense. But certainly for me, I prefer that, you know. I did head out to Berlin, and I just did like open stages, songwriter clubs and things like that. So there's no real like organization. It was just that need to be in front of an audience and sing my songs, and brought me back to life a bit, you know, to get that reaction, you know, and, oh yeah, to play to people.
So are you going to be doing more touring and everything coming up?
Yeah, yeah. Um, I very sort of, I'm in this, like I said, work in progress stage. I need to put together an album to tour with. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'll do gigs and I'll be going, but I need that album of songs that I can say this is the title of the album, Butterfly Wars Tour, or whatever it is, that it makes sense. You know, so I'm very much in that phase of trying to get all that together. Um, but I'll go over to Berlin. I'll do the same. I have a friend there, Jake, who's doing the musical comedy circuit there, and I stay with him and his girlfriend in Prenzlauer Alley, and that's lovely. It's lovely to just go over and play, and I would play on a street corner, or you know, in any of those open stages, just kind of just the experience of doing it. You know, I'll do it, and yeah, I'll tour around. I'll do what I can. I'm going to do the cruise ship gig. I'm doing the culture files. I arranged this. I started doing sort of videos during the COVID. I was doing these videos, multi-screen videos, like everybody else. You know, we have everybody on the screen, but I was putting myself on the screen, and I was doing choral arrangements of myself singing every part. And I did work in the past with, and I kind of do work, I'm not sure, with a record label called Arc Music. They're a world music record label. And there's an a cappella choir signed to the label called Africa Mamas.
Oh, okay.
And they really liked my choral arrangement of Nick Cave and Warren Ellis's Carnage. So I went in ahead and made adjustments to it for them. I mean, they're African gospel choir, so I made it a bit more sounding, without changing it too much. And this is the result. So this got this got sent off to them yesterday. So hopefully there'll be, we're trying to organize like a live stream of them performing my arrangement of this, what I consider to be one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard. Nick Cave released the album in 2021. It's called Carnage, and this is the title track of it. And it's just stunning. I mean, I've been listening to Nick Cave for ages anyway, and I do generally, Murder Ballads is one of my favorite albums, but I do generally love everything he does. But Carnage is just, to me, just stunning. The words and how it's expressed, and the music is beautiful.
Oh, wow.
So when I heard it, I just thought that would be amazing as a gospel song. I can change that in places and bring something else to it and turn it into a gospel song. So I did that, and the Africa mamas went, we want to do it. So that's how this came about.
Congratulations, that is wonderful.
Yeah. So I'm doing bits and pieces, and I'm learning as I go along as well, because I'm super experienced, but I'm also kind of self-taught. So all this kind of theory of stuff and things like that it's a big learning process for me.
And that's nice too, because like each person, just like you can take another person's piece of music or another piece of music and transform it, make it your own.
Yeah, I do that too. Yeah, if it catches my imagination. Like this one did.
Can I ask, going back real quick, when you were on the cruise ships and everything, did you get to, because I know it was absolutely exhausting, did you get to enjoy any time, any place that you went?
Yeah. The gigs that I was doing, they were like 45-minute gigs, and I probably did one or two of them a day, and they were in the evening time and not late at night, but sort of maybe 7 or 8 in the evening. Mostly the ship would dock 6 a.m., 7 a.m., very early. The passengers would get off, and I had all that free time in the day to explore. So I would do a lot. I would get off early. In most places, I was in Canada. I was in Alaska. The first contract that I did was started in Singapore. Flew from Ireland to Singapore. Went around Asia a bit. Did Cambodia, Vietnam. I was in China. I was in Japan. I was everywhere. Went on to Australia, New Zealand, the Cook Islands, French Polynesia, Fiji, Tonga, all that. It was a wonderful experience. But yeah, and one of the nice features, it was with Princess Cruises, I was doing, one of the nice features of getting to travel like that as well, was you could do passenger excursions, for, you sign up for them, and what you do is you just take on a very small job of counting the tickets at the bus, making sure everybody's on the bus, making sure everybody's come back to the bus, and with that then you get your free excursion pass. So I did a lot with that as well. Went to musher camps in Alaska, hiked glaciers and like crazy things. Yeah, it was a lovely experience, really, and it was safe. It was a safe experience, travel wise.
Yeah, that's good. At least you got to, even though it was exhausting, it sounds like at least you got to enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, it was sort of like it was exhausting at the end of it, and that in terms of like carrying on to do my own work was kind of impossible, because I was drained, it was done, my voice was tired, and you know, things like that. When you're in it, it's not so exhausting. I think with those longer contracts, you just have to choose it or what you want to do yourself at home. Like the two of them don't really work together. They didn't for me anyway.
So what do you like to do to relax?
I do yoga, I meditate, I walk a lot. I get very bad anxiety, and I just walk. I do 10 kilometers a day. That's my routine. Sometimes I run part of it. Sometimes I hike hills, but I get up to around 10 kilometers a day. Sometimes I do more, and I found I really need it. It's a very natural way of curbing the anxious feelings that I experience a lot. And you know, I do yoga. Mostly I do yoga for back pain. I have this app called Yoga Studio, and it's really, really good. It's a brilliant app, and I think it's only about €1 a month or something like that, I think. And they have all these different kinds of yoga classes that you can do for different things. So you can do yoga for mental health, you can do yoga for back pain, you can do yoga for pregnancy, you can do, you know, any kind of, they have yoga for everything on it. So I do the yoga for back pain one, and because I have like a curve thing in my spine, and it works perfectly for me, and it's great for the mind as well. There's a bit of stretching every day, just keeps on top of everything. And sometimes I meditate, but I have found meditation to be kind of difficult, and I sometimes heavy metal music relaxes me more than meditating does, and that's a fact.
It's amazing, as odd as it is, what different music can do. Even if some people are like, how can that be relaxing? You're like, but it is.
I know. I really, really do. I think it's sort of, I don't know. I can't explain it other than maybe it plays into a mood or something like that, where, you know, if you're anxious and you feel like screaming, then there's screaming happening, rather than let's calm and come down. You're like, no, actually, I don't want to be calm right now, or something. I don't know. But yeah, there's some kind of psychology to it, I'm sure.
It's your own space.
Yeah.
Nothing can touch you when you're in that space.
Yeah. What do you do to unwind?
Basically kind of the same thing. I enjoy working out. Right now I'm getting ready to go back to school and taking exercise science.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'll be becoming a trainer and everything.
Oh, brilliant. Congratulations. So I've never really heard of exercise science. Well,
It's a fancy term for getting your certificate to become a personal trainer.
Oh, a personal trainer. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's about a year's program. So I start in the fall, so I'll be done soon. But yeah, I mean, just like you, I love walking and everything else. Just getting into that, you know, personal headspace and just
Yeah.
going. And especially music. Music is very calming, even if it's very loud and everything else. It's
yeah.
And I know I was telling Ursula Burns, who I interviewed yesterday.
Oh, right. Yeah, I know Ursula. Well, I don't know her very well personally, but my friend Pip Sheridan Sides, he is very good friends with her, and he connected us online. So sorry for interrupting you. Go ahead. You didn't need to know any of that.
Oh, it's perfectly all right. But yeah, I was telling her it, and I'm sure it might be the same with you, but when you're listening to it, it's like the whole world can be falling down around you, but it's like that music just keeps you up. It's like
Yeah,
nothing can touch you.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
And it's yeah.
amazing. Time.
What would be your go-to music for?
My go-to music, um, let's see, couldn't just about be anything. Could be anything from classical, like you, depending on how I feel, classical, pop, rock,
Yeah,
hip hop. You know, it depends on the mood. It does. A little bit of funk, a little bit of soul.
all right, okay.
Uh,
That's one genre that misses me.
really?
Yeah, yeah, I don't listen to very much funk and soul at all. Um, it's not that I don't like it. I just it never it never grabs me. Like for I don't know. Maybe I need to listen to more of it and I learn more about it.
Do
Would
you
you mean like
Ray Charles,
yeah,
Tina
yeah.
Turner? Um,
Well, Tina Turner's the only one that I used to listen, but I was much younger when I used to listen to it, and I never listen to it anymore.
oh yeah, my
Yeah.
mom was a big Ray Charles, Tina Turner, Aretha Franklin, Elton John.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. She could listen to them all day long. And she'd be listening, dancing around the kitchen, doing the dishes and everything. Yeah, it was great.
It is that kind of get up and dance music, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially Tina, man, when you were mentioning Tina Turner, I'm thinking, yeah, she could move. It was like she was a
Yeah.
ball of energy.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And she never lost it. That's what I couldn't get over at the gig. I was like, this woman is, she's in her 60s. This is crazy. How's she this fit?
Yeah, I know.
She was like a robot.
I'm thinking I didn't have that much energy when I was a teenager.
I know.
Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, do you have a particular go-to music that, whenever you're feeling down or something,
It changes all the time. So there isn't one. I think I used to, when I was like, I was talking about Tina Turner there, I was a teenager when I was listening to that music. And when I was a teenager, I would get fixated and like obsess about one artist or something like that. But I'm not like that anymore. I listen to new music all the time. I listen to everything. Recently, I've been listening to a lot of Ludovico Einaudi, the piano, and I find it lovely when I'm out walking, especially in this light.
oh yeah.
There's something in his music that is beautiful with sunshine and bird song, and even the sound of creaking trees and things like that. And I have that in my ears when I'm out walking sometimes. Then when I want things to be a bit more aggressive or angry, I suppose I do go to Falling in Reverse. I listen to Muse a lot. I listen to a lot of bands. I like Radiohead. Um, I like angsty music sometimes. Um, a friend put me onto a band called Papa Roach. I've been listening to them. So they're all sort of in that metal, heavy rock, progressive rock genre, and I listen to that a lot. Sometimes when I'm exercising. Um, so much. I love film scores. So John Williams, Hans Zimmer, Rachel Portman. I listen to all the. I've been listening to Danny Elfman a lot lately. Actually, I love the madness of his music. He's so dark and sort of what's the word for it? The theme that he wrote for Alice in Wonderland. I
Uh,
reckon I could probably say that's one of my favorite themes to any movie. It's lovely. And I've been listening to that. Jeepers, just so much, so much. But mostly, it probably does fall in the genres of classical and progressive rock a lot lately. Is
uh,
what I'm listening to.
yeah, I like a lot of your progressive stuff and everything. I'm kind of starting to go that way a little bit. I notice when I like to work out, though, I kind of need something a little more upbeat to get me going.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
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 sometimes, you're just in that mood where you just need something a little darker and a little heavier.
yeah, yeah. I don't listen to very much light music, like what would be considered happy music. The song "Happy" by Pharrell Williams. I can't stand that. I can accept that it's brilliant, but I'm like, this is, this
Too
is,
happy, too upbeat.
yeah, it's too happy, too happy. But that's just taste.
Yeah. Ah, so any upcoming plans for you've got your coming out and everything. Do you have any gigs or anything?
Um, Other than the gig that just passed, I haven't booked new gigs as of yet. I'm trying to get just the writing bits done. I'll be, like I said, I'll be going out to ship to do the guest entertainer thing, and I have to call Terry, so we might do a few more gigs together. But like I said, I really would rather tour with an album than organize gigs for what reason, you know what I mean?
So
So
Butterfly Wars is the one.
that's the classical albums, that's string quartets.
Oh,
Yeah, I have some of the compositions online. They're MIDI templates if you wanted to listen to them.
okay.
I've been sort of doing work in progress stuff on my social media, just to kind of keep me active, because that's where I'm at.
Okay. Do you have a YouTube page?
Yeah, yeah. It's Lou, Lou McMahon, McMahon. So it's on YouTube, and like Instagram, Facebook, all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if people are, do you have a besides your Facebook page and everything else, do you have a home page that people can check out?
That came down. I had a website, but it was being hosted on my friend's site. He had some kind of e-commerce site, and it was being hosted through his site, but he took it down, and so I have to set up my own now. So yeah, I'm just, like I said, I'm just going through a creative process. I'm hoping to be out the other end of it by autumn, and at that stage, I can start doing things like that. Put more cohesion into everything I'm doing.
Okay. Would you
Yeah,
mind
that's it.
sending me a link to your Facebook page and or whatever
Yeah,
you're comfortable with? That way I can share them.
yeah. I will. I'll
Oh,
send them to you when we finish.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Lou, for taking the time. I appreciate it so much.
No, thank you. Thanks for inviting me on your website.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for doing this. I appreciate it.
Do you interview a lot of Irish acts then?
Yeah, I do. I've interviewed quite a few. I've interviewed quite a lot of Scottish. I've done some hip hop and everything.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun getting to know people and to meet them and to talk to them. Oh yeah, it's great. It
Good.
is.
Yeah. Good for you.
I very much enjoyed talking to you and everything. This has been
Yeah.
great. Thank you.
Yeah. No, thank you very much.